welcome to the podcast. It's Mr. Ish. We're here at Kips Bay, Boys and Girls Club, Coudert Clubhouse, and season number 7. And all the big bosses are coming through now. Open the door for one. Everyone wants to come do podcast. Today we have another special guest in the building. This is our new club director. Is that your complete title? Club program director. I know it was a second word in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Icaza.
You speak real soft spoken. Welcome, Brittany.
Thank you.
I even give you one of these. I'm ready, funk flex style. Welcome to the podcast. I know we've been teasing to do this for a while. You're very busy. Yeah. So that's why I don't nag you too much. I know that your job is very important. So tell the people a little bit about yourself. For those that don't know, you recently started here. About, what we say, 6 months?
Since June. So, yeah, about 6 months.
About 6 months. And it feels like a year already, right?
It does feel like a year. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's been an exciting one, I will say.
You know what it is that once you do like a summer session and then you do it after school, those seem like 2 different years.
Yeah, definitely.
It seems like 2 different times, 2 different members and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So you came at the right time because you got a taste of the summer and now you got a beginning of a school year. Well, welcome to the family. I know you do have a background in education and in the DOE. I like to say I work in the DOE too, temporarily. It seems like until I find something else. But all kidding aside, that's where we make most of our mistakes, and then we come to work here.
Oh yeah, trust me.
we learn from the DOE, and then we improve it in the boys' club.
Oh yeah, I love it here compared to where I was. So not the program I worked for, the DOE setting.
The setting is totally different.
Yeah.
It's a lot of red tape and stuff like that. Over here, we have a lot of flexibility, but we are also very responsible for a lot of things.
Yes.
And I know that you have a lot on your plate. So when you walked in here, you were handed off this clubhouse from our last director, Miss Francesca. She was here for a very long time, and it was a different way to do it because sometimes you don't have that person that could help you out when you first start. And I did like that the way that you handled it and the way she handled it was very, very professional. It was really nice. It got the staff buying behind you guys, like, hey, if they could do it, we could work together type of thing. So that was really nice to see. Because sometimes you get a new director, it's like, okay, the other one left, we got a new one tomorrow. And it wasn't that setting.
Yeah.
So that was really, really nice. And I know that it helped you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, when I first got here, I've never had the time where, like, I've had the previous person who came before me there with me. So to have Francesca, I was a little nervous at first because you're meeting someone new, how they did things. You don't want to come into their territory and change everything up. So thankfully, I am the kind of person that I am where I walked into the situation and I decided to observe rather than try and take control. That's one. And then 2, Francesca made it very easy for me to transition just because, like, her personality was so open and so easygoing that, honestly, I'm grateful for her because of the fact that we became friends and we became a great team, actually. Like, she made a decision, I would back her up. I made a decision, she would back me up. And sometimes we would make a decision together without realizing it, and it was so easy to put input and take control of what we needed to do because we were thinking the same things a lot. Like, we were on the same page constantly. So it was very easy. I actually missed her when she left because I was like, I'm so used to having you as a partner.
You don't have your partner here.
I know. I tell her all the time when she comes, I'm like, I miss you, partner. Come back.
Yeah, she just happened to be here yesterday and stopped by. She's here for a couple of days to see the family.
Yeah.
And it's like, she's here and it's like, oh, okay. Old workers here is great to see you again. It was a different way to transition, but it was definitely the way that this building had to do it.
Yeah.
I think that bringing you in at that time, I give Sinclair, Mr. Contero, a big heads up for that because they were like, hey, you know what? We got a month and a half. Let's start bringing them in together and see how it works. But I guess that also goes your personality and her personality didn't clash. So that was a great thing.
Yeah, that is a big thing because of the fact that, like, if I had been somebody else, they would have been like, okay, I'm in control now. Now let me do what I got to do while you're the one easing out. No, I didn't feel that way at all. Like, that's not who I am. At the end of the day, I also let her know, like, this was your baby before it's going to be my baby. So I respect
you're like
you.
stepmoms.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like stepmother. You could watch the baby now.
Yeah, it's like, I know this was where her heart was. I know her passion was this building and, providing the community that she did here. So her and I have the same mission, the same goal in that sense and what we want to do for the children. So the fact that our heart was in the same place together, that's all I really cared about, and I want to honor that between her and I, and not just like this is mine now. It was hers, now it's ours.
Yeah, you're like me. We're working for a plaque. I'm working for a plaque on one of these doors that says Mr. Ish's podcast room or something like that. That's what I'm trying to get. So what were some of the obstacles that you kind of had to go through in order to like transition or really get into this director's position? Because it's hard. I mean, we have a lot of different personalities. We have a lot of different staff. You came in. We have a lot of new staff.
Yes.
We didn't have a complete staff. Now it feels like you walk into the building, there's enough people in each room. So I do applaud you for that. Because that was a big step. I'm gonna give you an applause. I'm a little delay on the button, sorry. But I know that was important to build a team, and you build your team.
Yeah.
That was important. I mean, you left me here, thank God. But I mean, the rest of the people, you build your team. You build who you saw fit for different programs. And that was very important because now that you build your team, now we have to do the job, and there's no excuses. Yeah. Now it's a matter of, producing for our members, producing for the building, producing for, Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club. We need to, get out of this pandemic 2 years of, of I don't know, of loneliness, sometimes of depression, sometimes of just, isolation, not having people, and now basically open our doors to try to get it as normal as possible. I mean, we're not as normal as possible. We don't have the same numbers, but we're moving along, and we still have people. We're still signing up.
Yeah, we are. Honestly, we have a wait list that keeps going.
Honestly,
right
nice.
now. Yeah. Okay. So challenge wise, coming in here for staff, we did lose a lot of great staff because it was only for the summer session that they were going to be here, and my goal at the end of the day was, because of how strong our team was in the summer, I wanted it to meet the same expectations for the school year, especially that youth development happens so much more in the school year than the summer. This is the timing where they're going to school. Homework is very intense. They're going through transition of still the pandemic to now, where some of them behaviorally is not used to being around so many children, especially
Definitely.
that the building has been accommodating those numbers consistently. This year we're officially back at like full numbers. It was an expectation of myself and also from the supervisors and our head boss that certain numbers were met, and thankfully we have met those numbers. We've done a lot of promoting. So at first I thought that was going to be a challenge because unfortunately this building is not very well known in this community. So the staff from the summer to now worked extremely hard in helping me promote this correctly, working with the schools, putting flyers up in the community, putting flyers up in buildings, in the park, passing them out. We did everything and anything just to make it happen. And right now we hit 160 students registered to our program, and that's only between cadets and juniors. That does not include our teens yet. For staff development, we are officially fully teamed for group leaders. We are still looking for 2 other positions, but those are
you're
more.
not looking for my position, right?
No.
Okay.
Your position.
I'm just saying that I do things like this so I can stand out, and I don't want nobody taking my job.
No, trust me.
I want to make sure that they know. Don't come from Mr. Ish's job.
No, we appreciate
a little job
you.
security here.
We appreciate you for all that you do here. So you don't got to worry about your job. But it's my job here is not to replace anybody at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's more to just develop. I believe strongly that sometimes even the staff here who may have had a hard time earlier on, my job here is not to just sit at my desk and do paperwork.
We all have to learn. We all have to learn from each other.
Exactly.
We all have to grow. I mean, to tell you the truth, I started here as maintenance. So look how much I've grown.
Yeah.
I started here as maintenance. I did the front door. I went into, I guess, what Gladys does now, like with help with applications. I've been all over this building. If you tell me to cook in the kitchen, I'll cook in the kitchen. Like, I don't have no problem with doing anything.
Yeah. You see me.
So we move around. And that's the thing. You wear a lot of hats here.
Yes.
So sometimes, you have a job that you have a title and you be like, oh, I'm not going to do that.
Oh.
No, we can't. If I see something on the floor, I'm going to pick it up.
Thank you.
Because it's something that, a kid could get hurt. If there's a puddle, I'm not not gonna say, "Oh, let me call maintenance."
Mhm.
I know where the mop is at. I could do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop them. So
Mhm.
if you think of the building as almost your home,
Mhm.
and how to protect it, how to keep it clean, how
Mhm.
to maintain it, then we're a team player. We should be all able to do all these things.
Absolutely, and honestly, I appreciate this team for that specifically because if something needs to get done, there's always somebody already on the way to do it. You know, we have great you for example, you're a great asset. Argelis is a great asset. Brianna just became the cadet coordinator after taking over the position, and she's been doing a fabulous job. In general, anybody who doesn't have a coordinating job or an administrative role, everyone plays a magnificent part in this building and making sure that it's running properly. It's always looking its best. The children are always comfortable. It's there's a lot of love that's being put in this building
Definitely.
that comes from the heart and not just because you have to. Like this isn't the job that people walk into and I gotta do my job, I leave, I get paid and that's it. Everybody here that's a part of this team, I can 100% say they do this job with their soul. Like they
Yeah,
do it
and
for
you
the
should be
children.
proud of it. I'm
I'm
proud of it.
100%
Like I,
proud
I,
of it.
I tell you, and you know this from just knowing me. In the summertime, I get here an hour and a half,
Oh
two
yeah.
hours early,
Yep.
and that was most of the time because I didn't know what was your schedule or her
Mhm.
schedule. And
Mhm.
sometimes, it was like, "Oh, Mr. Ish, could you open the doors?" I'm
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, I'm here. Don't worry about it. I got your back." And
Mhm.
it was just like I wanted to make sure that you knew that
Mhm.
I was gonna be here for you, and
Mhm.
Francesca already knew. But I'm just building a relationship that now I know and you know that you could count on me. Mr.
Yes.
Ish, if I need this, like, I got Mr. Ish. I know he'll take care of this. I'm running late.
Mhm.
Could you speak to a parent? Could you stay a little longer?
Yeah.
You have all that in me. So
Mhm.
so we built that in these last 6 months, and it's been growing, and it's been
Yeah.
a wonderful thing that I could come here and feel very comfortable,
Mhm.
especially with someone that's new,
Mhm.
and we fit right in because at the end of the day,
Mhm.
we're here for the members, we're here for the
Yeah.
community, we're here for the parents.
Yeah. And even
We
for
we have
each
to
other,
build
I
these
feel
relationships.
like
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, like we treat each other as family. We're always joking around. Sometimes we're here a little bit later. You know, clock out is 6:30, but we're here till 7, laughing, joking around,
No,
talking about our
that's not me.
day.
I'm sorry. I can't. I can't.
Sometimes
I
I
can't say
feel.
that. No, that's not me. That's not me. Sweetheart, I
Mhm.
rush home at 6:30. I said I
Oh,
jump in my car to
yes.
see my children. So
Yes, he does, wife.
I,
Yes,
I
he
rush.
does.
I rush home.
He
Don't.
definitely
I
does.
don't want my wife to
Yes.
listen to this
But
podcast and I get in trouble.
the few minutes between him clocking out and leaving, he does have encouragement for
I
the young
usually
staff.
make them laugh and then I leave. That's
Yes.
the way I do. I
That's
say a joke and I give them my deuces
mhm.
and I'm out. By the time you look back, you won't see Mr. Ish again.
Mhm.
But I like that. I like that about us that we're kind of gelling all together, and it's
Yes.
good because it was happening in the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
Now I want to highlight some of the new programs that are obviously are happening.
Mhm.
This is not a new program because we've
Mhm.
been doing podcasts for a while, but with your support, now
Mhm.
we're doing video podcasts.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Mhm.
It was you invested a little bit in me,
Yes.
and
A little bit.
and yeah, I keep it like that. Invested a little bit in me. My
Uh-huh.
boss knows it.
Mhm.
Mr. Dan Quintero was here yesterday. He knows it, and
Mhm.
Sinclair looks at me very worried every time he walks in the building. So they all know,
Mhm.
and I appreciate that because I also wanted to express to the children like, hey, now that we do podcasts now, let's do something a little bit extra. Now you can see your faces. Now we can talk. Now we
Mhm.
can have a fun background. Now we can do all these other
Mhm.
things that we didn't have. And with your support,
Mhm.
we got most of the equipment and we're starting this and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I
Mhm.
said, and having you here doing the podcast, having Dan yesterday doing the podcast,
Mhm.
and one of these days I'll get Sinclair, but
Yeah.
he's another busy guy, and I have to make a couple of phone calls with him too,
Mhm.
and having all of us at least try it out and getting and also trying to do the Brent's Club
Yes.
podcast that we're
Mhm.
working on, and maybe even like a little radio station or something
Mhm.
that's just fun.
Yeah, radio
Um,
station would be cool.
I always tell the how you call it, the staff that they could come up here and we could talk and just have different ideas and kind of make it like a
Mhm.
little circle that we just talk about what not really what happens to us but
Yeah.
what we've learned from incidents that might have happened and how we could
Prove
improve
from it.
ourselves.
Mhm.
So it was almost like a little staff meeting we could have and type of thing. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of ways that we could use this video podcast, and I'm glad for your support
Of course.
and for everybody else that supported the program. Now we just gotta get our viewers up.
No, of course. I
Just
mean,
gotta get our viewers up.
I
That's
think
it.
that also has to do with the kids that we bring in and how we're promoting it. But I
Hmm.
think it once we have our team program started up, that will help out a lot. But
Oh
I
yeah, teams will
also,
be good.
yeah, I do like. I just want to say at the end of it all, I support you 100% with this, and I try to do my best in supporting you. Just because I have my own experiences of being somewhere just because of my color. It's not expected for me to be there. Like, for example, I attended school, I went to college, and the college I attended was predominantly of white authenticity and, sorry, ethnicity. And unfortunately, I was more of a statistic to ask questions to. So, what
Gotcha.
did I grow up in? How did I have
How
this?
do you handle this?
Yeah, and I constantly had teachers ask me different things in the sense of like, "Oh, how was it living in an urban community?" And it's like, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I had the parents that I do, where I was able to participate in things that they didn't expect me to be able to participate in. But then I think about it, and it's like in my community, not everybody has access to those things. And it's our job, and it was my mission to make sure that when these kids go to college and we push them to do those things so that they can make those accomplishments for themselves, they get these opportunities. So no one can look at them like they're different. They're just as important, just as, you know, they deserve the same that that I did not, or somebody
Or
else did
somebody else
not.
than I get.
Yeah.
I know I spoke a little bit about that to Dan yesterday. I was like, the things that we provide here at the Boys and Girls Club,
Mhm.
we're trying to expose them not to just these 4 blocks.
Yeah.
We're trying to expose them to something like this: videography,
Yeah.
photography, behind the scenes, beat making.
Mhm.
Now we have a great dance program
Absolutely.
that we're working on.
Exactly.
We have the kitchen that just recently opened up. Even with our influences, we
Mhm.
had a park across the street. We never used that park.
Yeah.
And after the remodel and having the congressmen and the state assembly people,
Mhm.
just
That
discussing things with
partnership.
us,
Mhm.
now the partnership has become something that now we take our kids across the street and
Mhm.
we actually use that.
Mhm.
We didn't even have a light that we could cross the kids,
Yeah.
and that became something by just speaking to the congressmen and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
now we have a light, so our kids feel safer in crossing the street. Little
Mhm.
things like that. It improves the community, but it also helps us,
It helps us
provide.
grow.
It helps us grow and it helps us
Yeah,
provide. So
it continues to give us new opportunities to give the children. And honestly, we have to do that because whenever we're repetitive, that's where we lose them. We have to keep them engaged
it has to
consistently,
be
and
fresh. It has to be.
yeah.
We also have to sit down and be like, "Well, what would you like to do? Well,
Mhm.
something that we can't do everything because if not, this will be just a video game tournament
Yeah.
place. But we could give them a little video game, but let's give them some board game education.
Mhm.
Let's play something different and teach them that way. So if we do that, then it'll be easier for us because then we capture them. We
Yeah.
give them something, and
Mhm.
then you learn something from what we trying
Yeah.
to expose you to.
It's youth development at its best,
Yeah, and
honestly.
I think the team program is going to be awesome
Mhm.
to have them here and have them, free range of just talking, getting them ready for college.
Mhm.
College signing day was usually a big deal.
Mhm.
We've done that many times before. Internships, we're going to
Mhm.
start an internships program soon,
Yes.
and that's going to be pretty good because we get, high school students
Mhm.
ready to, for the work field and also to learn a little bit. So we have a lot going on. And now,
Mhm.
the holidays are coming up. It's always a fun time for the holidays. So we can't, we got a lot on our plate, I would say.
Yeah.
A lot on our plate. And I appreciate everything that you've done and that you're going to continue doing
Thank you.
because you're taking small steps, but you're working with the system and you're trying to improve whatever you can. Like you
Mhm.
said, you can't change everything,
No.
but you see that this might, you could tweak it this way and
Mhm.
it might work for you, and that's the kind of leader that we need. And also as a staff member, somebody that's willing to back us up, willing to back up their staff, which is very important.
Mhm.
So I appreciate you. I appreciate Mr. Jason because sometimes it was just your two and Miss Myra, just running the building, doing all the little things that have to be done. While we are still sleeping or in our other jobs, you're making the phone calls. You're
Mhm.
staying here late and making sure that that we have all these programs ready and staffed, which is also important.
Yeah.
Just staffing people, I know, is a headache.
Yeah.
The fingerprint background and all the stuff that has to be done. That's not a process that's like a regular supermarket job.
It's not
You
at
don't you
all.
don't go for an interview and say, okay, you got the job. See you tomorrow. It doesn't work that way.
No, because once you get the job, then you got to go through all that paperwork, and then as we receive that paperwork, there's also working with your doctors to get the paperwork, and then the fingerprints and bringing in all your IDs and everything. It's a lot of patience, I will say,
And then
for administration.
you throw in all the now the vac we have to be vaccinated. We
Yes,
have
the
to do
vaccine as
this
well.
and all that stuff. So it's been I know that it could be a big red tape of paperwork for you guys. So I appreciate all that stuff. I don't have to go through it. I've been here for 10 years. So I don't, just tell me where to sign. That's all I need to know. Where to sign for my check stubs. I don't need nothing else. So I'm pretty much done here. I'm like an old light bulb. It seems like.
Don't say that because old light bulbs get changed.
But I'm a LED. I'm a LED.
There you go.
They last longer. They last longer.
I like that one.
Miss Brittany, I appreciate you, and I don't want to take the whole day. I know we got a lot of decorations to do, and just want to give people a taste and for people to see your face and put a name with a face, and and moving forward, we're gonna have a good old time, and this won't be the first time she's here, and hopefully we'll have a nice holiday party maybe coming up. We'll dress up. You know me, I like to dress up. And we'll have some good videos to show you guys. And please stay tuned. And I appreciate you. Appreciate the staff for watching the video podcast and all that. I'm gonna throw a little trick word. If you watch this podcast, Miss Brittany says she's gonna give you a pizza party. I'm just saying it because I'm gonna ask them the question. Did you see the end of the podcast? And they're not gonna know.
So
they're not gonna.
You gotta give them a specific word.
All right. So what's the word that we're gonna give them? Let's give them a good word. If they say
it should go with our Halloween theme.
Okay, so what's the Halloween theme? What's the name of the one, the ghost that we have? I forgot her name.
Margaret.
Margaret?
Frederic and Margaret.
No, that's not the name of the ghost.
Yeah, we named them Frederic and Margaret.
No, but that's not the name of the ghost. It was something else.
They said Sally.
I think it was Sally. Okay, so if you say Sally to Miss Brittany, if you say Sally to Miss Brittany within the next week, we're gonna get a little pizza party, but only the ones that mention it, right? And there's only 8 slices, so you can't don't try to throw 25 people saying it.
So the first 8.
The first 8 people to say it to Miss Brittany, that means that you actually watch the podcast to the end.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll keep that our secret. All right,
I'll do
all right.
Yeah.
Don't tell nobody.
I won't.
All right.
I definitely won't.
Yeah, because it'll get out of hand. It'll get out of hand in this place. All right, thank you very much, and we're out of here.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check.
We're at it.